My name is Taylor Brill, and this is my Culture Box. So, I have chose a few different social identities to represent myself. Starting with my age, I am 26 years old. A lot of people assume that I am way older than I am. Since I was a teenager, a lot of people assume that I was in my mid 20s when I was a teenager. Others now assume that I'm in my 30s because I'm in my mid 20s. I think it more has to do with my maturity level. I've been through a lot of life experiences, and I think that's made me significantly more mature and very socially aware. So I think a lot of people assume that I'm older. I have a piece of chocolate to represent my brown skin tone. I am brown. I'm a person of color. A lot of people make the assumption that I am either African American, I'm Hispanic, or I'm just Hispanic, or that I might be Polynesian, or all sorts of things. So I actually, in reality, I am Trinidadian and Cuban, and my mom is from Trinidad, right up here, and my dad is from Cuba, and my mom was born and partially raised there. She came to the States when she was a teenager. My family in Trinidad, they descend from India, so I do have a lot of Indian culture. And then also my dad is first generation American. His family all came from Cuba. He was the first one to be born here. And then I have a picture of New Orleans right here of a little map. I have a picture of New Orleans because I live here, but a lot of people make the assumption that because I live here or because I was born here, that I would have an accent or that possibly I'm not that educated. There's a lot of assumptions about New Orleanians and that I'm possibly not that educated or a few of those things. And in reality, I don't really have the strongest accent. I was half raised here and then half raised in Colorado. So I don't have the strongest New Orleanian accent. And I also have a tape measure to represent being plus size. I am visibly a female. I go by she and her. I am a heterosexual female. And I think a lot of people clearly, when they see me, they can tell that I am plus size. So I do have this on here. I have gone through quite a bit of discrimination and things like that, being plus size or just feeling left out because I couldn't fit into things that my friends could fit into when I was younger. And so I think that that's a big part of who I am as well. So I also have the social justice scale on here to represent being a part of Gen Z. Being 26, I was born in 98, and I am technically a part of Generation Z. And I do think that my generation and millennials, we are highly judged, mainly due to the fact that I think a lot of people in generations before ours think that we might not be the most aware or the most educated, or they think that we are possibly lazy or we don't like to work and we don't believe in hard work and a lot of things. And I think in reality, I think that millennials and Gen Z have created lots of change, and we've called for lots of change. And I think that we're consistently calling for change. And I think that we have been so aware to the point that we've noticed and really analyzed all of so many things that can be changed in our society, in our economy, in our government, for accepting people, all sorts of things, healthcare, education. And I think that my generation, we've really push. I think throughout time, clearly we've always seen there's always been a need for change. There's always been a group of people who have pushed change, but I think this generation has really shaken things up sometimes, so it doesn't sit well, I think, for certain people in older generations. So that is the front of my box. Then in the inside of my box, I have a flower to represent my relationship. So I am dating a male, and I have been in a relationship for about 7 years. Me and him have been together for a long time. And I put a flower to represent love and the significance of a relationship. But yes, I have always been heterosexual. I have been in a relationship with him for 7 years. I think most people would think. I don't know if that's how people perceive me. I also have a dollar bill to represent my social class that I was raised in. So I was raised in a low to middle class family. I grew up struggling and budgeting with my mom and watching her struggle to buy things at the store and going to food pantries and not having enough money to participate in certain things at school or certain activities with my friends. And I went to schools that mainly had upper class children attending school. So I did feel pretty left out and pretty bad when I was younger, because I didn't really understand necessarily like, why can't I have some of these things? And as I got older, I totally understood. But it was definitely difficult because children can be mean, and they definitely had a way of making you feel like you were not cool, or you're kind of lame because you didn't have anything that they had. I also have the symbol for feminism. I am a huge feminist. I am a huge activist for women's rights. It's something I very deeply believe in, and I believe in women having a choice over their body. I believe in women having a say in everything they do. So, and I think a lot of people wouldn't really figure that about me just by looking at me, I'm sure. But I am a huge feminist, and I am a girl's girl. So, then I also have my tassel from this past year. I graduated from LSU Alexandria with my bachelor's of science in clinical psychology, and I am a first generation college graduate. So it was a big deal to my family. It was very sentimental. And a lot of people wouldn't assume that I am even a college student. I manage a hair salon outside of school, and I've been doing that for about 6 years. And a lot of people wouldn't know that I'm a college student. They wouldn't even think I am. And they're always very surprised when they hear that I'm in a master's program now, that I've taken it this far to acquire my goals that I plan on doing. And lastly, I have a sign for advocacy. So I feel like a lot of people also wouldn't really know about me that I am a pretty big advocate for many things. I am a strong believer of social justice. I am a strong believer of women's rights. I'm a strong believer of LGBTQ rights and minorities' rights. And so I'm constantly, if there's something that I can do as a person in this society that could help, I'm so for it, and I'm so open to doing it. But yeah, so this is my culture box, and I appreciate you guys watching and taking the time to watch, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much.